always have to worry about, I gotta get the picture.
My mom's seen the video that I made for her. I didn't really see her reaction. I hope she liked it. We're walking in right now. Yeah, guys. Feeling optimistic today. Feeling blessed. Feeling like God has. He's gonna bless me with some subscribers today. So we'll get into that. We'll get into the message.
Hey guys, this is Dustin Lolli. I am with the band SANCTUS REAL, but I'm also a worship leader at Orchard Grove Community Church. And I'm talking to you today about a cool YouTube channel called BatDan Goes to Church. And basically, it's going to show you all about the church that BatDan goes to. That's right. I want to invite you out to that church. It's Orchard Grove. It's a cool church, great music, I think. Great speaking, and I think you will feel incredibly welcomed. And it's a very warm atmosphere. We'd love to see you here, so come on out and take a view of BatDan Goes to Church. See you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We open our hearts, we open our minds, God. We open our lives in the very depths of our soul to all that you are, God, and all that you see us as being, God, worthy and loved and valuable. And we thank you for your presence in this place, God. I especially thank you this morning for every mother, God. Every mother at heart. Every person, God, who may not have born children, but God, that has been a
special bracelet was made in Uganda, and you'll have a card attached with it, and it was made by surviving women, and they've survived abuse, they've survived war, they've survived all kinds of things, and there's a special partnership there, and you even see on the card it says it's made especially for Orchard Grove Community Church from these ladies in Uganda. And I think, did they show some pictures? Or I think they may have a couple there to show you. These amazing ladies, and we've partnered with an organization there that's empowering these women, that they've survived abuse and war and all kinds of things. And so they're making a difference, and it's upcycled paper that these are made out of, actually. So there's just all kinds of good going there. And so for all the ladies in the church today, we want to take this home as your gift. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all that you do. Let's give all the moms a lot of love this morning. I invite you, if you're new to Orchard Grove and you want to learn more about Orchard Grove, meet some of the staff. Come on out, 6 o'clock next Sunday evening. Enjoy.
I'm only one call away, and I'll be there to save the day. Superman's got love and no man. I'm only one call away. So call me baby if you need a friend. You know
Thank you to the people that are here. Mother's Day also. Got just a little bit of a ring, I don't know, Jeff, but we have people here that want to be moms, that can't be moms. And so certain holidays bring a little bit of pain to some people. And we want you to know that we love you, feel you. And then some people, one of our family members just lost a mom this week. Kim went home to be with the Lord. You know, we just lost sort of a mom to our church, and Pastor Bright's wife. And Pastor Bright was there with his family, and I've been holding off on this footage to show you of the funeral because you weren't able to be there. And then you probably heard by now, Pastor Bright lost his dad, so he's actually back in Malawi right now. But he's watching there, so Pastor Bright, hi, and your family. Welcome everyone in Malawi and wherever you're watching. Online, we want to welcome you, but we wanted to just take a minute and sort of pay a special tribute to a very special mom. Sometimes they take on an even bigger role, you know, and you're not just a mom to the people that you birth, but you're a mom to the people that you nurture, the people that you love, the people that you care. And so Annie Kawampa certainly was that to all of us. So a little video tribute to Annie Kawampa. Spectacular lady and a mom, and you know, I think today just reminds us of what a difference our life can make with somebody else. And so today I wanted to just talk about living your life and leaving a legacy. And you know, whether you're a mom or a dad or an uncle or you know, you're just getting started in life, maybe you're in your college years. There's never too early to start thinking about what kind of legacy you're going to leave with your life. When we're young, we don't think about those kinds of things as much, but everybody leaves a legacy. And one of the things that we know is that each and every one of us, we inherit a legacy. Isn't it true? We enjoy somebody else's legacy. We enjoy somebody else's sacrifice. You're here today because of what someone else has done. And it's really important that we understand our life that way. Oftentimes when we're young, we don't realize how much we are sitting on someone else's sacrifice. Whether it's you're sitting here in a building that was sacrificially people gave to help us get into this building, or whether it's you're sitting in a country that's free because people stormed a beach in France and were mowed down by machine guns, or whether it's that you simply had the opportunity to go get an education somewhere because one generation before you, somebody paid the bill. It's important for all of us to realize that we're here on somebody else's dime. It's good for us. You know, this was a reminder that Moses gave to the children of Israel in Deuteronomy, and as they were about ready to go into the promised land, he wanted to remind them that they were about to inherit something really, really good. And whenever you inherit something, it's important to know where it came from, to know that it's a gift. So Moses tells them, when the Lord your God brings you into the land he swore to your forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to give you a land with large, flourishing cities that you did not build, right? Houses filled with all kinds of good things that you did not provide, wells that you did not dig, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant. When you eat and when you're satisfied, or when you're so satisfied that you join Weight Watchers. When you're so satisfied that you spend most of your time figuring out how to eat less. I know we're not an amen kind of church, but you gotta give me something there. Amen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, it's too late now. It's too late now. I don't want it now. Think about it. Okay, just think about about it? All right. When you eat and you are satisfied, be careful. Be careful then. Everybody say be careful.
Be careful. Be careful.
Be careful when you have a good meal. Be careful what you think about that meal. Be careful what you think that meal came from. Be careful that you just don't think about the what else you don't have. That you spend 90% of your day thinking about what I should have and what's wrong with this country and what's wrong. You stop and go, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Anybody feel blessed today? Now that you think about it? Now that you think about it. It says, it's God who brought you here. And I think all of us, it's so important to be aware that we've inherited somebody else's sacrifice. We owe a debt of gratitude to those in front of us. I mean, I hope you've already called your grandma. I sure did. I hope you've already thanked those people, because we are inheriting their sacrifice. And you know, we inherit not just the stuff that people give us, not just the material things, but we inherit more. We inherit the spirit that they pass on to us. Now think about this. Many of us are enjoying, we're enjoying, if we think about it, we realize how blessed we are. We're enjoying somebody else's legacy. Some of you today, you're enduring someone's legacy. Some of you inherited some bad habits. Some of you inherited some negative language, a lot of negativity in your life. For those of you, this is important. When we talk about leaving a legacy, I want to tell you something. The greatest legacy that you can leave may be to shut the door on the negativity of the past. It is not important for us to compare ourselves. Say, well, this person, they've done all this with their life. They did all this amazing stuff. But you know what? One of the greatest legacies that you can leave is if you inherited negativity, to shut the door on that and to turn your family that far. Well, don't compare yourself to this person that's done this or done that. How many know that one of the reasons that we give you these bracelets today when you leave is because we want you to know that these ladies are leaving a legacy. And many of them, they just survived. Their legacy was they survived. They didn't let their surroundings and the negativity around them overcome them. They survived abuse, war, famine, neglect, and there's a website you can read all about these ladies and amazing things that they've overcome. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do is just shut the door on the past. I know a lot of people in life, they have a lot to overcome in terms of legacy, because their family just perpetuated negativity. And if that's you today, my message to you is really simple. Just shut the door on the past. Take what is good, take every bit of good, squeeze every ounce of good you can, and then move on. Paul gave a very simple sentence in 1 Thessalonians. He said this: test everything. 1 Thessalonians 5. Test everything and hold on to what is good. Isn't that good advice? If it's good, you hold on to it. Everything else, you can let go. Because sometimes for people, when you think about legacy, it's, I need to overcome some things that came through the family line. Sometimes the best thing that you could do was be the first one in your generation to not be an alcoholic. The first thing you can do in your generation is to be the first one to not be this, so that the next generation can rise a little bit higher. I think the way God works with us is that not everybody gets the same start in life. I don't know if you watched the Kentucky Derby yesterday, right? But they all get the same start. They all start at the same spot right there. And they all get the same advantage. But I don't think life is actually that way for us humans. Some people start way up here, some people start way back here. I don't think God's measuring us the way they measure the Kentucky Derby. But I do think what happens is God looks at you, just work on your own race and make your next generation a little bit better. In the 3rd chapter of John, Jesus says, you know, flesh gives birth to flesh, right? So on Mother's Day, if you're thinking about this, you give birth, you give birth to a flesh and blood baby, but spirit gives birth to what? Spirit. It's Jesus. What's going on there? Well, certainly you pass a lot of things on to your children, or you've inherited a lot of things from your parents. How many have ever done this before? You rolled your eyes at some things your parents did or said when you were growing up. Anybody? Then, what? Why are you laughing? Let me get through my message. Then what? You found yourself doing the same thing. And you said, I'm acting just like my mother. You didn't know to smile or cry, but you knew it was happening, right? You get these things. Sometimes people say, you know, you walk like your dad, or you have the same mannerisms. You laugh like your mother. You get things from them. So flesh gives birth to flesh, but spirit, this is so important, gives birth to spirit. You aren't just passing on DNA and chromosomes. You're passing on a lot more than that. You're passing on a mindset, an attitude, a way of thinking, a spirit. You're passing that on. The way that you look at the world, your attitude, your mannerisms, your behavior, all of that stuff gets passed on as well. So when you think about legacy, don't just think about handing off material things or opportunity. All those things are fine and good in their right context. But think deeper. Think about this. What is the spirit? What is the spirit that I'm handing off to the next generation? What am I reproducing inside of them? You can think about it in a few ways. Think about it in terms of character. The kind of person. When I think about the things handed to me, you know, I made a couple of phone calls this morning, first to my mom and then to my grandma. I talked to my grandma. She said, I'm ready for church. I said, I bet you are, Grandma. I bet you are. All 93 years of her, right? Just came through surgery. She's good to go. Got the bill of health from the doctor. Let's do it, right? What did I inherit from my grandma? A well-worn Bible. My first Bible. Talks like that. I'm ready for church. Are you going to church? Kind of her generation, my grandma gave me what I would call a legacy of the Christian faith. You read about Timothy, when Paul writes about Timothy, that he inherited the learning of the scriptures from Lois, his grandmother. I could certainly say that I learned the legacy of the Christian faith from my grandma. From my mom, who didn't go to church because she grew up and left the church because of the things that she saw, I inherited a different legacy. It would be what I would call the legacy of Christian spirituality. My mom talked to me about Jesus differently, about justice for the oppressed, about serving the poor, about racism. On and on and on, she would teach me about Jesus in a completely different way. From one I got law, from one I got spirit. Both of which I think are an amazing legacy, especially when you can put them together. What am I saying? I'm saying you have something that you are passing on to the next generation, something that they're taking a hold of. And one of the greatest things that people take hold of is their spirit. It's a mindset. In Romans, Paul talks about this. He talks about being transformed by renewing your mind. It turns out, though, that renewing or changing the way you think is not such an easy idea. John Lennon talked about changing your head. And it turns out that changing the way that you think is not such an easy idea because we pick up on the patterns or the ways from one generation to the next. This is how they think. This is their attitude. This is their mindset. So you're handing on to somebody else a way of thinking about God, about the world, about Christ, about family. At the end of the day, it's not so much about your reputation as it is your legacy. A lot of times people will think, I want people to say good things about me and think good things about me. But it's deeper than that. Spirit reproduces spirit. In other words, things are not just taught, they're caught. They just start to become you. Almost instinctively, almost without thinking. And so the person that you are starts to get multiplied in the people that are around you. It just works that way. Just as a body produces another body, as flesh reproduces flesh, attitude reproduces an attitude, a way of thinking. Not only that, but think about this, the legacy, not just of your character, but of your words. You know, they say, I can't remember the exact number, but I think we speak about 15,000 words a day. Actually, I think what they say is men speak about 15, women speak about 25. And they're both at about 15 and about 5:30. Think about what I'm saying there. She's got a lot more to say. He doesn't have anything else to say. But you think about adding up all those words over the course of your life, and you are writing one serious novel. And the question you want to ask yourself is this: what would the title, what would the theme of the novel be? If I were to go back and get a script of the words that I've spoken over the years of my life, what would the editors, the publishers, what would they be forced to title it? Because we're leaving a legacy with the words that we speak. And you know what? Everybody knows this. You can remember graphically the times that someone looked you in the eye and praised you. You can remember vividly the times that they built you up with words and they said, "Way to go, champ. You got this," right? And you can recall in graphic detail, because words have power. Words bring life, words bring healing, and words also bring death. Be really careful. Use the words carefully. Use the words to construct. Use the words to build. Will be known. There'll be a title. The Bible says that out of the abundance of the heart, Scripture, Jesus says that the mouth speaks. So the stuff that we're saying is just really bubbling over from what's in our heart. One of the most important things that we can do is to use our words to build other people up, to give life. When you think about legacy, think about this. Live your life for something that's bigger than you and something that's beyond you. We have all kinds of people that learn how to live their life for themselves. When we're kids, that's all we think about is ourselves. Wake up in the morning, you think about yourself. What do I want? What do I want to eat? Where do I want to sit? Any of you ever have these arguments at the table about who gets to sit where? These are fun. They're productive. These exercises. Anybody? Who gets to sit where? It can go on for quite some time, I've learned. These become very extensive deliberations. I want to sit by Uncle Chris. I want to sit by Uncle Chris first. And take the plate and move it off. And what we think about when we're young is we think about ourselves. What I want to get out of life, what I want to achieve, what I want to accomplish. Those are all good. They have their place. But then there comes a time in life where it's time to turn the page, time to turn the chapter, time to think about more than just what is life about for me, but it's to ask a different thing, is to say, where do I fit in this bigger story? What's the role I'm supposed to play, and what contribution am I supposed to make? How can I make life about more than just me? And life then makes a very, very important shift. I don't know where you're at on this shift. If you've made it, if you're mid-transition, if you're thinking about it, but it's the shift from quality, from quantity to quality. It's the shift from doing lots of things for yourself to making a difference with your life. Paul wrote about this, 1 Corinthians 3. He said, I've laid a foundation here, which is Christ, and then you're building on the foundation. So he described you and I as builders on a foundation. And he said, some people build with straw and kind of cheap materials. Anybody ever have a house built? Anybody ever build a house? Play for it? You guys do anything? I'll spend a little time over here this morning. Anybody ever build a fort? A house? Mud hut? Anything. What you know is you can kind of do it quickly and cheaply with some cheap materials, but if you want something to really last, you got to get good material. And Paul says there's two ways to build. And he says one day, some people build with sticks and some people build with brick and stone. And he says one day it's all going to be tested. 1 Corinthians 3 says this, their work is going to be shown for what it is. Because the day is going to bring it to light and it will be revealed with fire and it will test what's the word? Test the quality. So here's the question. What's the quality of our work? Not just the quantity. We live in such a quantity consumer culture, don't we? I mean, who can really, really drink a big gulp anyway? Have you seen these things? No, I mean, have you seen them? You can't even. I mean, other cultures they just wonder what in the world is wrong. Have you seen us? You can't get. I mean, it's like this big around, right? And because they can't fit it in a cup holder, right? They have to go. Am I right? And we live in this quantity culture. We need more, we need more, we need more. And I think what happens, Paul's saying, at the end, what's really going to matter, what's really going to be important is the stuff that survives. What survives? What lasts? What really counts in the end? More and more and more isn't really what counts, but quality counts because quality survives. Just like a quality building survives, a quality life survives because a quality life turns into a legacy. And what a quality life does is it starts to impact the people around you. It starts to affect others. It starts to affect the next generation. It requires that you move beyond yourself. Jesus said this Before he was about to die, I think it's safe to say Jesus left a pretty good legacy. That his life affected a lot of other people. But in order for his life to affect a lot of other people, he had to go for quality over quantity. Isn't it true? I mean, I don't know if you know this, he only lived 33 years. And he knew that his life was going to be cut short, and he chose to endure, it says, endure the cross. He chose it because he knew what was in front of him. He knew, and this is the way he phrased it. It was in John 12, you can read, it says that if a seed falls into the ground and dies, it bears much fruit. But if a seed is protected and it stays alone, right? If it stays alone, it remains only a single seed. So it's like the seed has a choice. A seed that stays on the shelf stays as the seed. It's protected. But if a seed goes into the ground and it dies, then that's the possibility to bear all kinds of fruit. He said, I'm going to be the seed that goes into the ground. In other words, I'm going to let my life produce fruit. I'm going to choose quality over quantity. Every day, I think in our life, we get this choice, quality or quantity. And all kinds of ways that you can cheaply choose just more stuff. But I think these little subtle choices come up time and time again, where we can say, you know what, I'm going to choose quality. I'm going to choose the stuff that will survive. I'm going to choose the stuff that will matter, that will outlast me, that will outlive me, that will go to the next generation. I'm going to choose quality. James said this, what is your life? It's like a mist, it's like a vapor. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. Certain times in life, you can certainly just feel like that. It's so fleeting. So the reality for each one of us is this, what am I going to do with my life that's going to last beyond me? Am I going to build a legacy for the next generation? If you know the story of King David, he really wanted to build a temple to house the Ark of the Covenant, to have a home for people to come and to worship. And David did all that he could in his life, and he wasn't able to ever build that temple, but he left the plans, he left the materials, he left it all there so that his son, the next generation, could build on that legacy. But I think it's important for us to think about this. What materials and what plans are we leaving for the next generation? What blueprints are we setting aside for them? For some of us, like I said, it's just saying no to the old and starting a new trajectory for our family. For some of us, by God's grace, our family has brought us here. Now it's our opportunity to set our family here. I'm not talking about materially, because all of us know that that only do so much. I'm talking about mindset, attitude, wisdom. Scripture says this, one generation will proclaim your works to the next. So it's time for each and every one of us to think about this with our life. What will be my legacy? What will my book say? What will they take away from my life? Let's stand and have a closing prayer.
So Shawna, why would somebody want to come to Orchard Grove?
Orchard Grove is a place where everyone is welcome. This is a place to be home. Doesn't matter where you've been in life, just come, let us love on you, and have a good time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shawna.
That was an awesome sermon. Thank you. wanted to go get our picture taken over there.
With what?
It's for Mother's Day.
It's Mother's Day, so we're
Yeah.
gonna take pictures?
Sure.